What's going on, guys? Shay5969, and tonight we want to talk about the Microtech MSI. Alright, so today we're checking out the Microtech MSI. Another one of my favorite knives in my collection. I feel like I say that a lot, but I've acquired some fun pieces, and this one is a treat. I was really excited when these came out. And so I think what ended up happening is I actually won this in a waffle, maybe, but I definitely did not pay full price for it. So that was cool. But yeah, when this came out, it was one of the first models they had with the ram lock, and they also put it on the stitch as well. But I'm a big fan of the locking mechanism. Really good fidget factor, and also it was like, at the time, I felt like not something you really saw Microtech do. So it was pretty cool, pretty innovative for them, and like I said, a lot of fun to fidget with. But yeah, so it was designed by Anthony Marfione himself. Has T8 body screws on this one, which is nice because up until around this time when they released this one, they were doing their tri-wing proprietary hardware, which is kind of annoying if you wanted to take your blade apart and work on it and you didn't have that specific tool. Yeah. But, so you got the T8 on the body and the T12 on the pivot. Really good, smooth action. Nothing less from Microtech, usually. Some people say they felt like it was a little bit like gritty in the action, and I could see maybe where you would see that or say that because it is on bearings, and some people often say that knives on bearings feel loose or feel broken. I have heard before a few times, but I myself do like them. They don't bother me one bit. But this blade is M390 MK, so it's a bowler exclusive from Microtech, I guess. It's got the ram lock on there, nice steel pocket clip with really good retention. Great action, great fidget factor, and the sheep's foot blade is super utilitarian. I think it looks really mean. I have the half serrated version, as you can see, which comes in really handy. This is a great knife to take to work and open some packages, break down some pallets, whatever. It has a 3.9-inch blade, but with a 3.35-inch cutting surface. You do got a little baby choil right there. It's not too big, but it's good for choking up. If you wanted to choke up, you get right there pretty comfy. But it's 8.9 inches overall. Injection mold polymer handles. A nice solid back spacer in there. I think it is the same steel. Yeah. But there's also a giant market for secondary scales for these. If you saw the video, perhaps, with Metal Complex, puts titanium scales on a stitch. So you can get titanium, you can get aluminum, you can get different colors of the injection mold if you wanted to. Yeah. Another one of my favorite blade shapes, too, with the sheep's foot. It's super utilitarian. You can really choke up really well on it. I like how this has the least amount of billboarding from Microtech. I feel like sometimes, obviously they have their shadow line, but that's like, pay a little bit more for no billboarding, but that's really as far as it goes for this knife. You just have the claw logo on the blade. Nothing too bad. So I think we all know that Microtech is pretty famous for their billboarding. But yeah, nice tip-up carry. solid thumb hole. It does weigh 4.75 ounces, which is really not that bad for a big old knife, as big as this bad boy is. Almost 9 inches of knife there. And yeah, and I wanted to say, if you guys were not aware, make sure you guys check out, if you're interested in Microtechs, make sure you check out Microtech's website, microtechknives.com, because they do have factory seconds where you can get some blem knives, maybe a scratch on the blade, some scratches on the handle, whatever, for a reduced price. Now, it's not like half off per se, but they do have some OTFs right now for like, you know, $355 for a Microtech Cypher with blems on it, because that would probably be closer to the $500 range if it was brand new in great shape. But that's cool that they do that, but that's something they do on their website direct. And if you ever see the hand grenade on the Microtech blade, that means it's a factory second. That's how you know. But a lot of people didn't know about that, so I also wanted to mention that as well. But I did look in to see where this is in stock right now, and you can get this exact plain Jane version on Blade HQ for around $176. Blade Binge has a bunch of different people selling them, anywhere from $180 to $250, and then you can also find scales on Blade Binge as well. I did check Smoky Mountain Knife Works. They had a couple different versions. One around $190, $200, and then they had a couple pimped out versions with aluminum and super fancy frag textured handles all the way through. And those were running in like the $330 range. But yeah, another great knife from Microtech. Definitely made me want to check the ram locks out, and I was really happy with this knife. I didn't think it would be so big as it was when I first got it, but I love it. And I just wanted to, something I haven't been doing is comparing sizes to familiar blades. So let's throw up the QSB Penguin. Everybody knows and loves the QSB Penguin, right? So let's go ahead and put that right there just for like size reference. So you can't say I didn't tell you it wasn't huge. Haha, that's what she said. All right. But yeah, that's all I really had, guys. I just wanted to touch on that. Yeah, the Microtech MSI, man. Check it out. You can pick one up for probably under $200 if you just want the plain Jane injection mold version. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.